Alright, so as usual, I want to make a video updating everyone on the new cases and then talk about some other stuff. So let's get right into it. Canada is up to 4,074 cases with 39 dead, which I think is just one dead on top of yesterday. So another good thing to point out too is that Alberta is had 56 cases yesterday, which is actually down from the previous 2 days. So that's a good sign that we had a day lower. I think we were at 67 and then 61 the last 2 days. So that's a good sign there that we are trending down a little bit. But again, it's only one day. We are about 2 weeks into this whole quarantine thing as of Monday, so we're almost 2 weeks into basically, most businesses being shut down. Schools have been closed for I think even a little more than 2 weeks, depending on where you're at. So I would give it about a week, and then we'll have a really good handle on where this is at, whether or not it's going to get worse, whether or not it's going to get better. My guess is it's going to kind of linger on because especially the federal government's really dragging their feet on this kind of stuff. And the other problem is we can't keep just keeping the economy at a standstill, right? Like, most businesses are closed, unless you have an online business, a food store, like a gas station, or a medical clinic of some sort. Those are pretty much the only businesses that are open. So the economy's really slowed down, and the government can't afford to keep paying out millions of people EI. Like, they can't afford it. I mean, they can't even afford it in what we're currently doing. They'll figure out a way to do it, just go into massive more and more debt. But if this goes on for more than a couple 3 months at the most, there's going to be hyperinflation, and there's going to be an even bigger problem we have to worry about. So the government can't afford this. So that's something that I would look towards personally. That if it continues like this for the next couple weeks, I would gradually start to open businesses back up. Especially, I would say that people, younger people. I would say anyone older, stay home. But anyone younger should be able to go back. And to me, it doesn't make sense why. But again, I want to stress that we are still early in the process. Give it another week, two at the most, and then I think we could be on track to make a pretty good decision. But like I say, even if this gets worse, like I say, we can't keep the economy at a standstill for too long. Like, it's already been 2 weeks almost, and we got a million people unemployed. Again, it's going to be tough to justify this for more than April. I would say like May, at some point in May, things are going to have to open back up again. But um, anyway, let's talk about some other stuff here. This is from Mike Cernovich, and he says, "Can someone explain to me why the World Health Organization has been given control by American social media companies to dictate what is and what isn't acceptable discourse on the what? Because it looks like to me the WHO is controlled by China, and they clearly are. The World Health Organization is terrible, terrible for this kind of stuff. The fact that they're buddy buddy with China, and they're clearly paid off. Like, China clearly pays them off for this kind of stuff, so that's probably why. But that's very despicable, if you ask me, and I just wanted to bring that up. This is from Stefan Molyneux. He goes on to say, remember two things about the virus. Social distancing only buys time. The virus is never going back in the bottle. And number two, China's communists routed this murderous microbe into the world. And that's two very important points, that this is almost always going to be with us now, that eventually people just build up immunity. The problem is that it could mutate, and then there's a whole other strain that you have to build up immunity to. So this is something that get hit by two, three, four, five different waves of this virus. It'll probably die down in the summer, but then in the winter or next winter time, it'll come right back, and it could even be worse than this wave. We don't know. And that's something that I wanted to bring up. That and the other thing too is people will get back in their routines. They'll get overconfident again, and then it'll hit us right back. The economy will come to a standstill again, and we'll be right back in the situation we're currently in. Um, and the other thing too is China. China is pretty much exclusively responsible for this, and they should be held to account. The last thing I wanted to bring up here is this tweet from Pierre Poilievre. He goes on to say Trudeau has flip-flopped on closing the border, flip-flopped on illegal border crossers, flip-flopped on airport screening, flip-flopped on his power grab, and now flip-flopped on wage subsidies. Good news, he's flip-flopping in the conservative direction. That's praiseworthy. Now, I don't really care about that whole stuff, the last part, but he has flip-flopped on pretty much everything. In that, I thought closing the borders don't work. I thought, we have a duty to let in illegal border crossers, which makes no sense. Um, I thought that increased airport screening is it doesn't work. Like all this kind of stuff that they stand their ground and we're right. Closing the borders is racist, and then clearly it isn't. That we know that Russia's right next to China, and they've only had what 3 or 4 deaths, literally. I know it's a massive country, but still. So that's something to take note of. And the last thing I wanted to bring up too is that I don't know if it's still trending, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, Trudeau lied, people died was trending this morning. I don't know if it currently still is. Twitter probably took it down, but you had all these crazy lefties on there complaining that here come the conservative bots. Even though we know, like, Twitter has admitted that they're biased to the left, but yet you still have these crazy lefties who think that there's a right wing bias on Twitter when they literally admit that they're biased to the left. Like, the bubble that those kind of people are in is absolutely astounding to me, like absolutely astounding. And I just wanted to bring that up. And like I say, Twitter more than likely removed it because they removed it when Trudeau dictatorship was trending a few days ago. So Twitter more than likely removed it. So I just wanted to bring that up. So get out on Twitter and tweet and retweet people that were tweeting Trudeau lied, people died, the hashtag. So anyway, check that out. And I think I'm done there, so I'm going to leave it there. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. I do have my PayPal and email address linked in the description. I appreciate any donations, but at the very least, just hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already.